Hi, I'm Chef Gail Sokol and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're making bourbon apple cider ice cream. You heard me correctly. And when you're a baker and you add a little ice cream to your baked good, it ups your game. It raises your stock sky high, okay? And everyone will go nuts over it because it'll complement any dessert you put it next to. Chocolate, apple, no matter what, it will be perfect. So the first thing we have to do with this bourbon apple cider ice cream is make a syrup, a bourbon apple cider syrup. And it is a fantastic thing to do. It's super easy. So in my saucepan, I have 4 cups of fresh apple cider, and I'm going to add 1 cup of high quality bourbon. Yeah, you heard me, 1 cup. We're not playing around. This is going to be so flavorful. Oh, and by the way, did I tell you this is an award-winning ice cream? Yeah, I won an award with that, a culinary award. All right, you're also going to add 2 sticks of cinnamon, 12 cloves, and these are the whole cloves. If you don't have whole cloves, you can add some ground clove, or cloves with an S, but you add the whole clove. Really nice, 12. And then I like to up it even more, 1½ teaspoons apple pie spice. Get those all in there. All right. And we're going to raise the temperature. Ooh, I got a whiff of bourbon. And you're going to bring this to a boil. And then you're going to reduce the heat and let it simmer for about 45 minutes so you reduce the temperature, so you reduce the volume of it to about 2½ cups. Because remember, the apple cider alone plus the bourbon is 5 cups. So you're basically going to reduce it by half. And once you get that 2½ cups, we're going to mix in a cup of light packed brown sugar. And then we're going to let it chill, and then we'll build and make our custard. So my bourbon apple cider syrup has reduced by half, and now I'm going to add 1 cup of packed light brown sugar and let it dissolve. I'm just going to mix it. I'm going to let it stay in this container, in this saucepan, until it gets to cool room temperature, and then I'm going to pour it, even with the cinnamon stick and the cloves, right into a measuring cup, and then I'm going to cover it and put it in the refrigerator overnight to chill and let all those flavors blend. So you've got that reduced bourbon, you've got that those beautiful spices and the apple cider, and it's gonna flavor our ice cream beautifully. And soon it's gonna be time to make our custard. So it's now time to make our custard, and you can see my beautiful bourbon apple cider syrup has thickened as it's cooled. I have it over here ready to go, but we're not quite ready yet. So as we build our custard, we're going to be heating. We're going to be doing a few things at once. So we're going to be heating our dairy in here. So we have 2 cups of heavy cream in my medium heavy saucepan. I have 1 cup of whole milk, and I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of the milk into 1 cup of sugar, granulated sugar, into my mixing bowl. And this is a heat-proof mixing bowl. And then I'm going to take the rest of the milk and pour it into my saucepan. And I'm going to heat that up until it comes to a simmer. All right, we're just going to keep that going until it comes to a simmer and watch it. And here I have 1 cup of my granulated sugar, like I just said, a couple tablespoons of the milk. I'm going to add a little flour. Now the flour is a starch, and it's going to actually help prevent the custard from curdling by increasing the coagulation temperature of the eggs. So I'm just going to mix that up a little bit. It's a little too thick to mix totally. 6 egg yolks, 6 large egg yolks. That's what's going to give our custard the creaminess. And we're going to whisk. And we're going to keep on whisking this until our milk comes up to temperature. Now you never want to leave egg yolks and sugar just sitting there like this, because you'll end up with yellow bits, like hardened yellow bits, and that's because sugar is hygroscopic. You've heard me mention that word before, hygroscopic. That means it has the capacity of sucking moisture out of the air, and that's why baked goods that have sugar in them don't really stale that much. They can stay relatively soft, even at room temperature, because the moisture in the air is pulled out into that baked good. Well, the same with egg yolks. Egg yolks have a little moisture in them. The sugar will suck it out, and it will create lumps, like little yellow lumps, and we don't want that. We will be straining our ice cream and putting it through an ice water bath, which I have set up here. So I have ice water in a big bottom bowl, another heat-proof bowl on top, and then a sieve. And that is ready to go. That's always ready. And I'm going to keep mixing this until I feel like my granulated sugar has dissolved a bit. My milk's not totally there yet. Once it's there, we're going to be tempering the egg yolks. That means getting them ready for the warmth that they're going to experience from the milk and the cream. All right. And then we have to really watch the temperature. We don't want our eggs to go above 185 in this custard, the whole custard in general, although the flour will help. So I'm going to keep mixing this. You can see it'll turn like a pale yellow. And our milk and cream is just about there. All right. Just keep moving this. All right. This custard is a little bit of a workout, but you get strong biceps is good. So we can look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. All right, so we've reached a simmer, not quite a boil, but we just want the milk and the cream to get nice and hot. Now I'm going to temper. That means I'm going to pour slowly as I whisk. I have secured my bowl with a kitchen towel that I have moistened, so it's nice and sturdy. I have a nice little tip video that you might want to check out on how to do that. Super easy to do, but comes in handy when you want to sort of have more than two hands. So I'm going to keep pouring this in slowly, sort of like saying to the egg yolks, hello, warm up there, get ready, here we come. And then as you see that you have added a little bit of the hot milk and cream, you can start pouring it in a little bit faster. All right, so there you have it. And then I'm going to wipe down the sides of this because we're going to pour it back into our saucepan. All right, because this is the basis for our custard, but we have to cook it. So that was just getting the eggs ready so they don't scramble. And now we whisk. And we whisk so that we get to about 185 Fahrenheit. You can also mix with a wooden spoon. And then when you dip that wooden spoon in, it should be coated with the custard. Now don't worry about it when you make a custard, whether it's a creme anglaise or an ice cream, because this really is a creme anglaise, which is a stovetop custard sauce that has egg yolks and some form of dairy and flavorings. That's the basis for most ice creams. And what we're doing is we're cooking these eggs so we can eat them safely, because we don't want to have any interruption with salmonella, which is a bad bacteria that may be in an egg. You just don't even know if it's in there, but we're not taking any chances. No way. So we're just going to be whisking this until it gets to be about 185. And right now we are going, it goes up pretty fast. It may not look totally thick as you are stirring, but you just want to keep it going. You don't want to ever bring it to a boil, although like I said, the flour will buffer that and help that, prevent that curdling of those eggs. So I'm going to keep maintaining this temperature and stirring until I get to 185. So my custard has just reached 185 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to take it off the heat, but I want to show you. If you don't have a thermometer and you dip in a wooden spoon, you're going to see what happens. You should be able to push your finger through it and should leave a path. That means the custard is nice and thick. All right. Now we're going to stop the cooking process and we're going to pour it into my ice water bath. And it's heavy because I got a lot of custard. You may end up with a little bit of egg. I'm going to try to turn it so you can see me pouring. Ooh, hold on. Let me put this down. The trouble with being left-handed. Here we go. And when you lift this out, you may see tiny little bits of coagulated eggs, perfectly normal. You're going to get rid of that afterwards, but this stops the cooking process immediately. Now, we really don't have any flavoring agents in here. This is where our bourbon apple cider syrup comes in. So now, remember I told you to keep the cinnamon sticks and the cloves in there? Now it's time to add them. All through the sieve. And once we put it through a sieve, we'll get that beautiful infused syrup. All right, you can see my cinnamon sticks and all my cloves came out. All right, and I'm going to get a clean, I have a clean whisk right here. You don't want to use the whisk that you use for your custard. And at this point, I'm going to stop the cooking process, and I want to show you that as you mix it in, you're going to see the syrup blending in with the custard. So it's going to turn like a tan color. And that's the color of your bourbon apple cider custard base. Once your custard becomes a cool room temperature in this ice water bath, you're going to remove this top bowl. You're going to dry the bottom, and then you're going to cover it with plastic wrap and chill it in the refrigerator overnight for all the flavors to blend before you put it into your ice cream maker. So I'm ready to plate. I've put my ice cream base through my ice cream maker. I let all the flavors meld overnight, and I got this gorgeous, beautiful, smooth bourbon apple cider ice cream that is absolutely spectacular. Not only that, it's an award winner. And what better to serve it than with my caramel maple walnut tart? And look for a video for that, because that's a great, great dessert. Oh my goodness. What complementary flavors those are. I hope you've enjoyed making this bourbon apple cider ice cream with me. I sure enjoy spending time with you. I hope you become a subscriber. I hope you make both of these. And I hope to see you next time.